there's a big stigma around mental health overall, but for men, there's no voice or anything about it. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, yeah.
That's all I'm here, brother. That's what I do. What I do. Shit. Nah,
Me too, me
that's
too. Yeah,
yeah, bro, and like kudos to you. Kudos to you. I want to say this also. I don't know if you're alive or not, but hey, man, props to you because everybody wants to talk about everything else but this topic, and they want to talk about this topic only when it's trending. And when it's not trending, don't give a shit. So,
yeah.
hey, props to you. I
Thank you.
tip my hat.
I'm Ramith. I'm a certified life coach and I'm a mental health advocate. And I have worked in crisis support service. And I want to spread awareness about mental health this month in Mental Health Awareness Month and throughout the year as well. This is something very dear to me. And I feel like this is a very important topic that everyone should be open to talk about and spread awareness. So here today we have Amandha Amarasekara. Can you introduce yourself?
So, first and foremost, thank you so much, A, for doing this, and B, for having me. My name is Amanda. I do content creation, modeling, but my main forte these days, at least, has been focusing and advocating men's mental health, especially in Sri Lanka. So far, we have done awareness programs in companies like Browns and Maharaja in some schools. So we did one recently at the road track. I think it was called Globalize or Interface or something like that. I forget that name. The plaque is somewhere back there.
Okay.
What I also try and do is for the month of June, which is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, I will shoot and produce a short film. And that short film we will partner up with as many local companies as possible. And with their support, showcases in a cinema and then maybe at a hotel. So last time we did PVR and we did Amari Hotel. And what I would then go and do is at these events, bring in my friends who are content creators and influencers and voices and the media, get the message out there, and then go to the places of work of the people who sponsored, and then do small awareness programs for them, like projects about what mental health is, what is men's mental health under all that,
Mm.
because when stats come down to it, Sri Lanka really desperately needs it. And again, that is why I'm starting this off by saying, thank you, Ramith. What you're doing is a great service.
Thank you so much. And I have committed myself for this as well. I was a graphic designer most of my life, and I
Oh,
had
okay.
fear of public speaking as well. So I'm improving myself, and I want to help others to improve their self, their lives, and their relationships and overall health as well. So that's why I have
Right.
committed. So please, if there's anything that I can help or I can give you value, please do reach out, stay in connect, and
100%.
let's do something to spread the awareness about mental health because there's a big stigma about mental health and people are scared of talking about it or there's a shame. So, if I ask, what does inspire you to come to this field or talk about mental health?
Honestly, bro, for I've been doing social media for the longest time. Right. I've been doing it since 2016 ish, but that was all over the place. Before I ever started mental health, I was only doing fashion. Uh, yeah, fashion. I used to do a bit of advertising here and there. I used to be a model, and as mainstream modeling as it got. So I did all the fashion shows. I did CFW and AOD. We did Dubai Expo. I have represented the country twice on international platforms. One was Mr. International in 2018, and one was Face of Asia in 2022 or 2024. Yeah, it's been so long. But every time I did something, no matter how great it was, and the external validation is great. As human beings, because we're
Mm,
social creatures, we thrive on that, right? Whenever somebody says, "Oh, good job," or "Wow, you look
mm,
great," you almost feel like you need it and you depend
mm,
on it. It's just that, brother. I just felt after every time I did that, and say I upload a post, I just shoot, and I would get that high of wow, good stuff. It would die down, and then I would never feel I would never feel content, ironically, with the content I was putting out because it was so hollow on the inside. So it was like a
mm,
balloon. The second it goes up, it and you're done. So the next balloon and next thing and next thing and next thing. But there was a time where I was working in corporate. and I was going through, I not diagnosed, I would really know, but severe bouts of almost suicidal depression. Like I would hope and pray that I could or would, I just die, so I wouldn't have to put up with this shit again. And I found that as a guy, there's not much you can do. You can't really talk to anybody about it. You can't talk to your friends. That then they get scared and they're like, "Oh,
Mm.
Mashan, what's wrong?" You can't talk to your parents, God forbid. Then they feel, and the thing is, and what I really tell the guys is when you feel that it is the fear of how they feel they let you down and they internalize. So everybody you tell, so your parents are going to think, "Oh, I'm a failure as a parent." But the issue is not that. The issue is here. I am having an issue. I don't want to make this about you. I'm
Mm.
telling you so we can both help me. But the fact that it becomes that and that becomes a bigger problem is why I feel a lot of guys just shut down. And I also know, so I have this thing called a men's circle where I get any guy can come. It is a open space for men and a safe space for men to come and talk about anything really. We do mental health related exercises, both introspectively, retrospectively, holistically as much as you can.
Mm.
And we try to end on a positive note. How do you address these issues? How do I deal with emotions? All the good stuff. Um, and what I learned from them, Ramit, basically was the fact that I know my wife or my parents or my children, everybody else would rather see me die up on that white horse than me having to get off it and be human. And it is that fear that I will lose or become less than in their eyes that I can't. Um, I've often talked about this, but one of the main reasons that I even started this men's circle is sure it's out of the fact that I know when I was depressed, nobody talked to. Great reason. The second reason is because I found out that one of my friends, one of my close friends, was suicidal. I know that that's a bold claim, but how I know this is also because he didn't tell me directly. He told a friend of his who
Mm.
took me to a con and said, "Makang, man, that check on him,"
Mm.
because this is what it told me. Apparently, uh, he had tried to uh, he had tried to kill himself. It's just that when he had gotten on top of that building, uh, I think he works like Australian hours or British hours. One of those we work the midnight shift
Mm.
situations. But in his office, they keep the rooftop unlocked so that you can go and have a smoke.
Yeah.
So it had just been him and maybe like two or three other people at office. It had gotten too much for him, and he had climbed that roof. And he, while I think looking over, he's called his wife and said, "Look, I'm so sorry. Like the pressure is really getting to me. I don't think I can do it. I'm going to jump." And his wife has said to her, "Why don't you jump? I'll
Wow.
take care of the kids." Brother, that's what I'll take care of the kid. And it was, I think his kid back then was about a couple of months, maximum one. Yeah, now he has two, now he's happy and all that stuff. But
Mm.
uh, back then, I think he was 1 year old or a couple of months. But the reason he has thought about it, he has almost, and then he's come down and he has told this friend who told me the only reason why I didn't do it was because I was too much of a coward to jump. Right. That is why, very sincerely, um, even at the even though some people retaliate and say, "Look, you can't just do a men's circle; it has to be an open thing." The reason why I primarily focus on men is also that reason. It is because A, men don't have anywhere to go to. B, I also know that a lot of men feel unsafe or less than to talk about feelings and emotions in front of everybody. So it has to be a close knit, tight space of trusted people. And the third thing, brother, is if you look at our government itself, right? A lot of the organizations, a lot of the get help places are primarily for women and kids. It's nothing for men.
Mm.
We have an entire legal arm. And I think the numbers were three governmental, four non-governmental, one legal arm called, I think it's Sisters at Work. I could be wrong about that, but essentially either it's free service or it's minimum charge, almost 24/7. All right. Whereas on this side, there is nothing for guys. Good luck with your shit, bro. It's on you. There is one men's mental health group in all of Colombo, which is mine. There's one men's mental health group down south who is the guy who actually inspired me to do this. And give me a shout out to him as well. I think they're called the Island Brothers. I went there once. I talked to him. He was such a gent. He said, "This is how you start this." And ever since then, only I took the initiative to start in Colombo. But otherwise, bro, there is nothing for guys.
Any
But
chance
like,
you
and
remember
that is,
his name? Sorry to interrupt.
I think his name is either Ed or John. I can get the name. I
Jude?
can't remember.
Is it Jude?
No, Ed.
Okay.
It's not Jude, bro. No,
Okay.
no. But it is 100% him. But like, Joe is his name.
Okay.
Yeah, he's in Joe Edwards. No, just Joe. He's in London right now.
Okay.
But when I was going through a really bad time on social media, he reached out and he was like, "Hey, bro, we're having a thing like this. Would you like to be a part of it?" And everything that I've done so far is only because of that man. Technically, bro, he got me into that. We went for 2 sessions with him. Kudos to Joe.
The reason I asked is there was a person who named Jude has a he also done a workshop in Kalyana. Kalyana is a wellness program.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so in that I can remember there was a circle of men. So it was about mental health, but mainly about mindfulness. But his focus is on mental health on men. So that's why I remembered. And I think he's also in southeast that area, Goal.
Is by any chance Jude an elderly gentleman?
No, younger person. I will share some information afterwards. I can't remember his name or
Yes,
right
please.
now.
Because I
Yeah,
think once Joe actually did a project with Kalyana
yeah,
somewhere in Borella. Yeah.
yeah.
That I attended. That, yeah.
So every year, Kalyana has a reset event in January or
Okay.
February. So all the mental health advocates or counselors, therapists, everyone comes and they do workshops. So I have
Oh, fantastic.
volunteered in the beginning, then I went as a participant this year. So it was amazing. Yeah.
Good, man. Good. I'm so glad that you guys actually do. I would love to be part of it. If you can let me know, brother, when the next one is, I would love to come.
Yeah, I know the organization organizers, so I will get in touch with you as well. I'll give the
Yes.
organizers. Yeah.
Thanks.
So what
All
else
right.
inspired and what made you build up a fire to do this?
Well, brother, honestly, so content creation was always fun for me, but it used to either be very comedic ones, high fashion ones, because I've look man, I've seen Sri Lankans compete uh, at an international standard, right? I feel that because we're still now we're getting known in the world, right? Back in 2018, they always said, "Oh, India," and I was like, "No, Sri Lanka." Where's Sri Lanka? I said, "India here." Ah,
Mm,
so India. So no, man, no, it's Sri Lanka. So because we were not as represented as much as we should have been, I always have the belief that Sri Lankan men are some of the best looking guys out there. We have amazing skin, we have amazing jawlines, we have amazing height, which is not like coconut tree, but also not down here. We are great looking guys. It's just that if you ever look at anything Sri Lankan fashion related, it is the most rudiment, it is the most basic. You get two extremes, right? So either you get that typical, very safe, conservative street style
mm,
nonsense, or you get the AOD style, the really over the top is how I like to describe it. Because
mm,
one AOD that I went to, brother, the design was like pillowcases, and I was like, okay, cool. I understand. Like this is these kids. They're trying to keep up with
mm,
international standards. I support that. Great for them. It is just that you don't get a middle ground. Like
mm,
I still feel that we can or we should be competing at that international standard, but nobody does it. So a lot of the time when I was doing content, it was hurry. I used to look at international inspiration and then I would localize it and do something here. So one of the proudest shoots I've done was I did a complete nude shoot. My mom lost her mind, right? Sri Lanka mother. I had to block her off Instagram. She's so fond of. La, 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 la. Okay, cool. The second shoot, and that was with this gentleman called Heshan. It was so artistically done that it was perfect, right? It was absolutely great. Shout out to him. And then, brother, I did a shoot with this other gentleman called Ty, and that
I know
brother
that.
was there, there you are, Ty. All right, everybody fucking knows
Yeah.
Ty. So with Ty, brother, we did this Levi's inspired shoot. I can't remember what year it was. It was either 67 or 60, some collection like that. But it has to be one man, one girl, or lady. You're both topless because it's a jean shoot, and it's an almost intimate exchange, but the focus is on the jeans, right? That also bro shot out really well because it wasn't like lust was not the angle. We just had to emulate emotion, yeah, and the emotion could be passion. But it also has to be classy. It can't be like a very here's boobs for the
Mm.
sake of it,
Yeah.
right? And that I did with Ty and this lady called Sasindi, um, who I think won a pageant recently, so kudos to her. And with the help of this gentleman called Dylan, because we had to get one of his apartments to do this shooting. The last shoot, brother, I did that I feel was of an international standard was there's this fantastic gentleman whose birthday is today, ironically, called Dimitri Cruz. He does a lot of high level wedding photography, but is also a very dear friend. We did a cosplay shoot. It's this gentleman called Tengen from Demon Slayer, right? So we did a Tengen anime cosplay shoot, and it was great, bro. Like it was fantastic, and to me, I feel that that is the level we should be competing in. But not a lot of our people do that. Even if you take cosplay, a lot of the stuff is great. It's just that I feel there's one gentleman that always stands out when it comes to. I'm a big geek, bro. I'm a huge loser. Right? This is my forte.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it. But not even a loser, but I absolutely love this stuff. There's a gentleman called Aishwarya Tenmakot who does some amazing cosplay. Right? He did Sun Wukong. He did one of the Marines from Warhammer 40K. Awesome stuff. But that I really felt was the potential we always had as Sri Lankans. It is just that everything I did there, bro, was only for me. I wanted people to look at me. Yeah, Sachin, you're also great. Sachin, good job. But I want people to also look at me and say, wow, this is great.
Mm.
But again, that's such a following experience, right? Like after the great, it is what I spoke about earlier. It's just that, Ramit, I just trickled down. I just accidentally kicked the rock, which is okay, walk style, interview style videos. And I went and asked about 7 to about 10 men. As a man, when was the last time you cried and why? Right? And a lot of these guys, Mashan, it's either very recent, it's very far off. They feel like they can't cry. Um, they always, and it's always the guys who are smiling the most.
Yeah.
And that is when I realized, holy shit, we have this issue where we are forced to live in this almost facade like theatrical world where you wear this mask and play this character, but deep down inside, you're dying, right? A lot of the times, brother, ever since I did this men's circle thing, I get calls from gentlemen from about 11:30 till about 2 o'clock. You're on call, and I love doing it. It's my absolute pleasure to be there. And a lot of these things, Machang, are either suicidal ideation, wife is cheating on me, losing my job, my family doesn't know. Um, my eldest cousin touched me when I was a child, and now I want to bring it up, but I can't because the entire family breaks down. Someone in their family is trying to kill them. It's all sorts of extended stories that they know nobody else will listen to, right? And that is when I realized, holy shit, there's such a huge lack of men being able to communicate, but they're always being shown as the perpetrators of violence and sexual abuse and sexual harassment. So everything that is wrong is widely shown. But if I show that, they're human too,
Mm.
maybe they just need some help. Why can't you do a circle for everybody? Why can't you do this for everybody else? This is not good enough. You need to actually address this. It is all the rules and regulations as to how you should do what you're already doing without me actually doing any of the work. I'm like, I never asked for your opinion. Thank you so much. But also, it's really sad that instead of saying, "Hey, great job, how can I help?" and be a part of it, you would rather choose just chastise and ostracize this shit, right? And even ridicule it.
Mm.
But and the thing that really turned me, Ramit, was the first video I shot. First time I directed anything, I shot with all my friends, Jake, Iraj, Raj, so Radhika, he works in the Air Force, and Ranshan. Um, we showcased an alcoholic. So we try to niche it down to all the issues Sri Lankan men has. Either you're a workaholic, right? You're an alcoholic and you're going through a divorce, or you're suicidal. At least like financial issues, all that stuff. But that was just hinted at. One of the comments, so we just posted on social media. One of the comments I got on that, and that is the video that is pinned to my feed, and the comment is also pinned in, was this gentleman from Dubai who reached out saying something on the lines of, um, I was actually just randomly checking my social media and I chanced upon your video. I had tried to kill myself 3 times before, but clearly couldn't succeed. This is why I'm here. But now I realize I need help. How do I get this help? Brother, that's it. Like I have finally made an impact on someone else's
Mm.
life without it always being about me, right? Someone and ever since then, brother, all these calls, all the men's circles and all that stuff, it has always been okay. A mother has a son, a wife has a husband, a child still has their parents, at least their father, because of me. And that is
Mm.
that I could give up the entire fashion thing just to do this, but I have to put also food on the table, play for
Yeah.
this paper, yeah. Um, it is just I am so happy to do this at the cost of my own mental health. I understand the irony, sure, but I'm just so happy to be someone who makes a difference in somebody's life. That is why I started doing much more of this, and less stuff like the fashion. Like it's not that I don't do content creation. I love
Yeah.
doing that too, but I really love doing this part of it.
That's amazing, and I hope you do more of these things and touch many more lives and have an impact. And that's one of
Thank
the reasons I choose this field as well. Like, I want to make an impact. I want to make a
you. Right.
change one person's life. That's enough for me.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah. Absolutely.
yeah. And you mentioned about suicide and things like that. So I have been volunteering at a crisis support service for more than 5 years, and I worked as a
Okay.
supervisor as well. So I have 1,000 hours of call hours. So I have listened to many calls and I have handled like 6 suicide calls. So I understand
Right.
what you're coming from, and the same feeling I have as well. When you're starting a call, someone is suicidal, they are going through something, they have a lot of issues that we can't even think about. Like we can't
Right.
even grasp the idea of those kind of things. So in
Right.
the end, I got to like take them to a place. I got the chance to help a lot of people in that area. That's why I want to have my own practice, and I'm a certified coach, and I want to learn more about it and to help others. And like you said, there are the scariest people are who has a smile, who has a bigger smile, are the
Oh
ones
yeah.
who suffer inside with silence. And I think you mentioned a quote saying known like Sri Lanka is known for like India and the smallest country, something
Yep.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So sadly, for many years, Sri Lanka has been the number one country for most suicides,
Yeah.
and 70% of them are men.
Oh,
So
brother, absolutely, 100%. Did you also know that Sri Lanka has the highest suicide rate in South Asia?
yeah, yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I told.
Isn't
Yeah,
that crazy, bro? How
yeah,
the hell do we have
yeah,
that, man? Like we beat India, we beat Bangladesh, we beat Pakistan, we beat
yeah,
everybody else. This is what how sad is that? And I
yeah,
actually checked the stats, brother. I think back then, at least a few years back, it was 15 to 100,000, and the next country was 6 or 7. I was like, we doubled the
yeah.
number.
No.
How the hell did we? Who? I couldn't understand myself. I was like, how does that make sense?
Mm. So the
But
place I yeah the place I worked was we get around 2,000 calls per month.
right,
So and what the statistics says in WHO, three men per day, 3 men like people will die suicide in Sri Lanka. And the other thing, sad part is parents or family members don't say it's suicide. They
Oh
would
yeah,
cover it
yeah,
up.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Oh my lord, brother. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The shaming that comes with mental health issues is a whole other thing, bro.
yeah,
I have Ramit. It's so sad that I have guys who come to my circle, and I am just one second. I
yeah.
have in no way do I advertise that I'm a professional, right? What happens is if there is somebody who comes to a circle that I feel that I'm not equipped, like the guys from Vida that
Mm,
the clinic I work with have
yeah.
sent me entire worksheets saying if this happens, do this. If this happens, do this, and they trust me to do the right thing, right? If there's a case that's a bit above me,
Mm,
what I do is I say, Marshan, look, I feel that this problem is just a bit above how I can help. But what I can do is, I know
yeah.
this person at Vida itself, which is a place you already go to, so you're already comfortable with it. Why don't we go talk to him? So you go talk to him, I'll stay outside. And then once we're done, bro, we'll go have like slap a cup of coffee or something. What do you think about that? And that is how I get these guys to do it, right? But bro, I know I know some of the guys who come to this circle and it is just us talking, have to lie to their parents and lie to their wives and come and say, I'm actually going for a meeting, even though I'm appearing in Amanda's story. So I had to get that consent before shooting the shit. And they're like, yeah, we're just hanging out. And they can't say, I am talking. I want to so the second movie I shot, right? I had invited my friends, family members, really close associates, paparazzi. One of these really close associates, this elder, so she comes from that generation, asked me or mentioned, "I'm on the nice movie, but don't you think that you getting guys to talk about their feelings makes them more girly?" It's like, okay, and we put that dial it down, but also you forget the fact that yeah, we're men, loud, tall, proud, we'll take a bullet for you, sure, but we're human before that.
Yeah.
Right? We feel the same thing you feel. It's just that we emote it in a different way. We pretend like yeah, it's not scary, so that you can hide in the back. I can't be behind you with you. Like, oh my god, I can't do that, right? But it is in every and that again is the saddest thing. Brother. Like if you take today's day and age, I'll ask you, Ramit, in this day and age, welcome to my podcast. Um, who is a role model you look up to?
Mm,
Like a positive male role model you look up to?
positive male role model. I would say Tony Robbins.
Fantastic. Now, you tell me, person who's been doing this for a couple of 1,000 hours, how many young kids do you think would come to that answer?
Very less.
How many young kids do you know, or do you think would, first of all, know that that's a variable factor, but also look at a more negative role model as their role model? We have none. We have
Yeah.
nothing. Even when we were growing up, right? My favorite superhero, bro, of all time, out of everybody I can remember right now. One is this maniac in anime called Guts from Berserk, very tragic story. And when it comes to comic books and stuff, Batman. All right, always has been, always will be. Love it. But if you really analyze it, right? Batman never breaks down. He's human and he has to go through all his emotions by himself. There is someone who wants to help him out, who is Alfred and the rest of the Bat family. I get the lore, sure, but he almost never does. He can never show weakness.
Mm,
And that one time in that one alternate universe where Robin dies because of the other Robin,
mm,
he breaks down, and the only person he breaks down in front of was Catwoman. And that was because she gave him the permission to break down, right? She said, at least tonight, be yourself. But this is who we adopt to be, right? I'm not saying
yeah.
it's a bad thing. I love men being men. I feel I feel if there's this whole toxic masculinity is a label that just
Mm,
came out and destroyed a lot of positive traits in men. Sure, you get toxic people on
yeah.
both sides,
Both sides.
right?
Yeah.
100%. They are the bad guys. But I really feel that men being men, I
Mm,
love that. Like
mm.
firefighters and all that adrenaline junkies, all that shit, right? The life course guards, the police, the army, all those people that fight on behalf of somebody else, where you put your entire life on hold or online and just do it for somebody else's safety. I
Yeah.
love to respect that. But we were never taught as kids, at least as men, that hey, you know what, bro? Like your feelings also do matter, right? You can talk about it. It doesn't make you weak. It actually makes you stronger
Stronger. Yeah.
because what we're looking for now is a solution to still remain resilient. So now you are the pillar, but you're also reinforcing that pillar. In case the next wave of whatever is crashing on you, you have this reinforcement which prevents you crashing, and everybody else on top of this hill would live. What we're taught is if you cry, if you break down, if you talk about what's really, really killing you on the inside, you are such a weak piece of shit. And there's almost nobody to tell you otherwise. That was my biggest issue.
Thank you for sharing all that. And my question was about to ask you was how does the idea of being manly affect how men handle emotions? I think you answered the question before I asked. Yeah.
Sorry, my bad. You know what? Sorry, I'm so happy to talk about this stuff, bro.
Yeah,
Nobody
yeah.
does. Sorry, I'm so sorry. You're right. You're
No,
right.
no, that's
We
fine.
can
That's
pretend
fine.
you ask that question. I'll be like, and then
Uh,
you can cut this first part.
I'm really happy that two men talk about emotions, and this is something that very important. A lot of men don't open up, and that's why they go for addiction or alcohol, like you mentioned. And
Yeah, of course.
so,
It's such a normalized. It's and this is the correlation, brother. Usually, if you find a story on News First or wherever you watch stories, that a couple of guys got busted at a spa, and I do not mean like an actual massage place. I mean like
yeah,
spa,
yeah.
because the cops raided. Generally, our go-to is to laugh,
Mm,
right? Haha! Here's a video of this guy
mhm,
has no clothes on, pulls out a sarong from somewhere, and he's trying to run
mhm,
away. But that is also much on because of the shame that's associated with sex, because
mm,
we live in a very conservative country, sure. But also, like I read somewhere and I saw some testimonies from these spa girls or escorts, and what they say is, a lot of the times when these guys hire these girls, sometimes it's for sexual gratification, sure. But the fact that these married men or these single men, whatever, these old men, these young men, the reason why they feel such a drawing and a craving to these girls is because it comes at a nuance of you can be yourself. Like there's no external pressure. In that
mm,
room, it's just
mm,
you and I. You don't know me, which
mhm,
essentially is a mask. This is the mask that social media gives you that you can type and say anything you want. All right.
yeah.
This is that mask that gives you that freedom to be yourself, right? You can talk about your problems. So a lot of these times when these guys come, a lot of it's either to escape from life. They don't even need sex. They don't want sex,
Mm,
bro. It's just that
mm,
outside there is so much. I have it right here. Like many of the categories, sure. I have sexual gratification. I have loneliness or emotional escape. I have curiosity. I have convenience, which is compared to dating because there's so much stress on a guy. You have
mm,
to make the first move. You can't be creepy. You have to be good
yeah.
looking. Make sure that she says okay. Then plan the date. Take her out the date. Make sure the date goes smoothly because if it doesn't, it's your fault.
Yeah.
Ensure that there's a second, third, and/or sex that ensures after that because if not, it's your problem. When the second date, you have to elevate it. Third date, you might have to elevate it. Fourth date or sex, make sure that you can perform well. Make sure that you're big enough because otherwise you can get ridiculed for both those things. And make sure that she's satisfied even if you're not satisfied because that is the entire thing. I'm saying that is just an estimate and it's not a all the time case, but this is generally a lot of the pressure that these men feel
Mm,
because that is what's shown on media, right? You are
yeah. Yeah.
ridiculed. There are celebrities who will endorse either killing men, which is Billie Eilish and Sabrina Carpenter. In or every one of Sabrina Carpenter's music videos, guys are dying completely fine. It's almost normalized. And you can make fun of dick sizes
Mm.
completely fine. So body dysmorphia, body shaming, all that is okay as long as it's this way, but not this way, right?
Yeah.
But a
Yeah.
lot of this, like that's the saddest thing. A lot of these guys feel that I can't talk to my best friend, sorry, about how I feel deep down inside without being judged, without being called weak, and or without being able to have the excuse of masha mam bila hiti ekha mam odi okuma kiwa masha mam bolwa
Mm,
kiwa don't take that seriously, right? But again, if you just it's just a normal chat GPT search away. Where if you check what are the main reasons why guys go to get for to spas, it is lack of relationship satisfaction, stress relief, emotional loneliness. It's all this. So it's so sad that you have to creep and crawl your way into a place you feel safe enough, which is this very, very, very not safe. The irony
Yeah.
behind that, you can get busted for feeling vulnerable, and still you would go there. Sure, name for sex.
Mm.
Masang, at tops, you're gonna get and you're gonna pay for an hour. You're gonna be there for 15 to half an hour. If you go any more than that, congratulations, sir, you absolute animal, you know. But and the rest of that time, you're with that girl and you are talking, you are pouring your heart out because you know nobody else would listen to you like this.
Yeah.
Isn't that sad, bro? That is why I feel. And again, kudos to you guys, bro. I'm just a social media guy, man. I'll come make a video and bug up. You guys are the actual guys who are at the front lines. I am just the medic, bro. You guys are the guys who are fighting this damn war. I have so much respect for you guys, man. Like you, Nibendra, like the amount of stuff you all do, it's absolutely redonks to me because you're essentially saying I am willing to give my life away, my hours, and I know it has to be stressful because all these stories you're taking in, right? And you have to deal with your own problems also. But then there's this and this and this and this and this. Respect for them. That's why I love what you do. Thank you so much for your service.
Thank you so much for saying that, and yeah, understanding the situation and knowing how things work and the problems that men feel. Thank you for that. And yeah, if I ask, why do men avoid asking for help, and how can we make it easier? What do you think?
How why men avoid asking Machang? I think we
Asking for,
covered with my
yeah,
blabbering. I think we already
yeah,
covered in that moment. How I feel that you can actually address this, bro,
yeah,
is the same way I feel you can get guys to take part in a sport,
mm,
right? You play volleyball and you want to get your friend into volleyball. So you say, Mashang, end up. We'll both play volleyball, right? And then first you show him, Hari, you hit it like this, you catch like this, you drop it like this, you hit it on that side like this, you spike like this, you save it like this, and all that. And then they understand, so this is how you play volleyball. I think the same way you get men to communicate, bro, is generally why I do this men's mental health circle, the Sunday circle, so religiously, even if it's just one guy,
mm,
is because look, my entire plan with the Sunday circle, bro, is I want to remove myself from that equation, but men still feel safe to go to a community like a brotherhood where they feel accepted enough to talk about their problems, understand it's normal. We all have this. In fact, the more you talk about it, the more these guys can relate and then understand that it's a okay to have it. B, there's a solution to it that does not cost you your life
yeah,
or your sanity, right?
mm,
So how I think you should do it is what you guys are doing, what you're doing right now, bro. Key factor, but also going to like workshops like the one you said about Kalyana, going
yeah,
these things and normalizing the fact that yeah, there are guys here, and it does not make you weak to actually address your problems. If if you're in a ship and the ship has a problem, you're not like, no, this is a manly ship. You know, the ship can handle itself. It's handled itself before. You're not gonna say that. You're gonna go to the captain and say, Captain, we have this problem. The captain's like, oh shit, this is what we need to do. This is the procedure. Like just like that. I understand you want to be Batman. I do too. But Batman also has Alfred, and he does talk to him, right? And Alfred does help, even against Batman's orders. We'll make sure that either he sleeps for 20 minutes and then goes out, or he's not going out.
mm,
We'll almost parent him.
yeah,
Batman will be parented by Alfred, and that is okay. In fact, that is the strongest way you can, right? Every successful leader, conqueror, all that shit, they had somebody to go back to. They had an advisor, they had friends, they had anything to just talk to, so that all that stress is either it's clarified or it's sanctioned off, or
mm,
it's solved at least,
so
right? That's what we are not showing. We're not showing the fact that yeah, these men are strong. I love that, but you can break down. Like you
yeah,
have emotions too. That is valid, bro. Your emotions valid, and that is not really your fault. That so I think what you're doing, brother, is the right way forward.
thank you. And the next question, I think you answered that as well. Like I wanted to ask, how can
This is the
we
easiest exam I ever sat to, bro. I already wrote all the answers for first one. Thanks so much. Yeah.
how can we create a safe space and help the community build support? So, like you said, I think go doing a sport or doing a hobby, I think that will help have a support system. I think for men, we need a support system that, uh, not for men, for everyone, but we need a support system that we can feel that we were hurt and we can have a
Right.
support system. Like you mentioned about Alfred. If
Yeah.
we can have like tools or things for us to have, even going for therapy or counseling or any type of way, is a helpful way to uh, have to face problems better, like you mentioned
100%.
before, like whatever we do, problems will come, traumatic
Right.
incidents, things, life is always unexpected, but it's better to have a strong support system and a better mental health to face them. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I
uh
also think,
yeah.
like, just to add to what you said about, I think having a really good friend group and a very
Mm,
positive friend group really goes a long way. Only because if it's a friend who says, Machang, are you depressed? Are you upset? Are you happy? Are you sad? Let's go have a drink. That would be a bit more detrimental than saying, oh, Machang, I understand your problem. I'm going to stay with you. You don't have to talk to me. You don't have to address it. We're just going to sit together in silence until you feel comfortable enough to talk to. If you don't, that's also fine. I'm gonna make sure that you're not alone, right? In fact, let's not just stay at home. Let's go play some pickleball, or let's go to the beach. Let's do something progressive. The friend that will pull you out of your quote unquote depression is generally the friend you should latch on to for as long as you can, because that's the friend that's going to get you out. It's not the friend that says, ah, machan, case, ne? Yeah, machan short tag, because that is avoiding the problem, right? And secondly, brother, I am also so fond of this Australian men's mental health group. I can't remember the name of it, but what they do is they have a group, but they don't. It's not a men's mental health group. It is more of a repair group. So what they do is
okay.
every session, everybody in the group brings something that is wrong in the house, right? A fan, an oven, a pot, something. And what they do is they break it up into groups, and they will spend that day or that afternoon repairing this stupid thing. So you're all there repairing this thing. That's why you're there.
Mm.
In the meanwhile, yeah, bro, I think my wife is cheating on me. I don't really understand how I got that solution. Keep us on the
Yeah.
ranch, thanks. It's that, right? So
Yeah.
I'm not doing this.
Mm.
I'm technically doing this, but I'm doing
Yeah.
this. I'm fixing
Yeah.
this damn thing. I'm having a chat because otherwise it's boring. But even my circle, brother, what we do is we have like a sit down session every 2 weeks. We
Mm.
sit down, talk. Last week we did parenting styles and toxic parenting and how that translates into your love language and your love patterns and all that. But also, I have pickleball sessions, I have go karting
Mm.
sessions, I have coffee sessions. What my aim is, brother, is as men, we're very good at team sports, right? We love our team sports. In fact, we bleed cricket.
Yeah.
Uh, how you can get these guys to trust a complete group of strangers is you put them in the same team with those guys and you give them a common goal. Now I'm working with you. So I'm not like this. I'm more here with you by
Mm.
my side. I know you have my back, right? Because we both have the same goal and we're fighting those guys. So I feel, okay, maybe I can trust you at least more than those guys. I can trust
Yep.
you. And you keep switching that around and around and around and around until you understand, okay, so I guess I can trust these guys. I can talk to at least these guys. I will go my entire Monday to Saturday hating everybody and not trusting anybody. But on Sunday,
Yeah.
I can break down these guys. And a lot of these guys, Machan, text and say, I can't wait for Sunday. I can't wait to get this off my chest. There's so much I need to talk about. But what I feel where we go off is I feel that a lot of therapists, and I could be wrong, treat men's mental health issues like we treat women's mental health issues. And those are two different things. We're two different
Yep.
creatures. We focus on two different things. Yeah. So that's very tough to do. So again, I think, and I have to keep saying Fashan because y'all don't get enough credit. I think it is you guys at the forefront who are willing to listen to these guys and just say, tell us what you want to ask. 100%. You don't want to talk about, you want to talk about fucking poppies and why that's important.
Mm.
Let's do that. Well, we're just here for this next hour. We're just going to talk about whatever you want to talk about. Ready? You guys are the actual enablers for a much healthier Sri Lanka, at least on men's mental health. So again, I wish I had a hat that I keep tipping off to, but
Thank you.
hey, man, kudos to you. Yeah,
Thank you so much. And yeah, that's my goal as well. I want to help others and I want to have a better future for someone. And like you said, creating a safe space is the idea, like the goal, so that they feel safe, they can open up, they can share, they don't feel judged. So that's something we do as coaches or counselors, anyone. That's the main goal. But sadly, like you said, there are people who are who are counselors or therapist has a bad rap on treating people like in a way that it doesn't help. So there are there are good and bad in our area. So and like you
in every
said, yeah, and like you said, sometimes we get calls, like I mentioned, I worked in a volunteering service, so we get calls from a problem that it's very minimal or something that's surface level, but there is a
right,
big problem that they don't see. So that's why we help to help them see what is the real issue, why this anger, or what is this going through, or what are the things that bothers you might be a part of. So those are the
right.
things that we do. And again, thank you for coming to my podcast and giving your time and sharing all this knowledge. So, if I ask if there's a takeaway message or advice to the audience, what would that be?
Okay, I'll talk on behalf of everybody. One, to the ladies and gentlemen watching this podcast, good job, you're in the right place. But also, you're a lot more powerful than you believe you are, right? I understand that life really throws a curveball and it really hits you hard sometimes. Sometimes don't even see it coming. But you have it in you to solve that issue. There's a lot more. There's a lot more solutions to a problem than the permanent solution, which might not be a solution at all. Um, I always grew up. I always loved and idolized the quote, which is, "If all your superheroes are dead, who is going to save you?" Right. So I very strongly believe you are the superhero you've been looking for all this while. The only person who's really going to save you. Yes, you have friends and you have
Mm,
the Alfreds and the family, but you are Batman and or Batwoman. How you want to take that, right? And the second thing to the guys primarily is, my brother, you are doing so much. You are more loved and valued than you think you are. The people you want to hear that from might not tell it to you or might not know how to tell it to you directly. They might hint at it through this
mm,
sort of thing without just going here. Yeah.
yeah.
Unfortunately, that is because right now you get podcasts like this one, which will open doors and say, okay, this is how you should address something maybe. But in your parents' time and the time before that, there was no talk about this shit whatsoever. Communication was just the guess, and maybe that's as good as it gets, right? So you expecting them, your parents,
Mm,
your lovers, your children, to say exactly what you want to hear is a bit tough on them because communication is. I have an idea in my head. I'm going to try to vocalize it, and then you're going to interpret that any way you want. The perfect communicator is someone who has the same idea, who says the same thing, and you understand the same message, right? Which is very, very rare. So, if anybody needs closure, if you need help, there are plenty of people like this gentleman here who are willing to help. You expecting that from your loved ones might be a bit tough on them because they might not know how to or would be armed with the tools to help you.
mm,
So, it's okay to break down. It's completely fine. I have this belief that I got from John Pearson, which is it's it's not okay to not be okay. It's normal to not be okay,
mm,
but you need to find a solution for it. Right? You should never stabilize yourself and stay stable at that level of not okay. It is on your shoulders as much as it sucks sometimes to be the person who believes in you more than anybody else. So there's always a solution. You should always reach out. There are wonderful gentlemen like Ramith here. Again, a big shout out to Nivendra, all the gentlemen at Vida. Come to the men's circle, anything. We're all here to help you out. There's always a fix to a problem, and everybody here is out here hoping and praying and cheering for you. So you got this.
thank you so much. And yes, like you mentioned, we there are people who commit their life and hours and time to help others. So there are, please ask for help and Do reach out. Uh, Asking for help is never a weakness, it's a sign of strength. And to
Mhm.
give you a small story, I think something you mentioned again in the beginning as well, that you had these achievements, but you never felt satisfied. So
Yeah,
Michael Phelps said that he also don't feel okay, even though he has won a lot of gold medals in Olympics. He what he said was being okay, being not okay is okay. Like
right.
we don't have to always put a face like smile face and be strong. It's okay to be vulnerable, be open. So thank you for sharing your stories and everything that you shared. And I wish you all the best in your future endeavors and everything you do. And I hope everyone who listen to this podcast will reach out, and I hope you will promote your men's circle as well. That's something I have seen and I heard from a friend. So I'm really happy that you're doing this. That's why I want to reach out, and I
Thank
want you to be in my podcast. Thank you for giving me the time and sharing the knowledge with me.
100%. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you so much. I hope to invite you in another podcast as well. I hope to work in the future together. If there's anything, please let me know, and I will help out any way I can.
Oh, thanks, brother. I will really need it. Oh my God, I really need it. Thank you.
Thank you
Thanks so
so
much for
much.
having me.
Have a nice day.